Looks like the lock's broken. Kind of looks like a face. Well, we beat the boss.
Mary?
What do you want, James?
I brought you some flowers.
Flowers? I don't want any damn flowers. Just go home already.
Mary, what are you saying?
Look, I'm disgusting. I don't deserve flowers. Between the disease and the drugs, I look like a monster. Well, what are you looking at? Get the hell out of here! Leave me alone already! I'm no use to anyone. I'll be dead soon anyway. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. It'd be easier if they'd just kill me. But I guess the hospital is making a nice profit off me. They want to keep me alive. Are you still here? I told you to go. Are you deaf? Don't come back. James, wait. Please don't go. Stay with me. Don't leave me alone. I didn't mean what I said. Please, James. Tell me I'll be okay. Tell me I'm not going to die. Help me.
Now might not be the best time, but there was a bit of a thought that I forgot to talk about earlier. In terms of the abstract daddy, the like bed frame monster that seems to be related to Angela. I think one of the creators of Silent Hill, I don't remember who specifically, mentioned that that is not what the monster looks like to Angela. That is just what James is kind of, I guess, maybe imagining what Angela is seeing based on the newspaper he read, maybe, or what he can surmise happened to Angela. We kind of get a general idea based on that mirror scene with her earlier. And obviously, too, you could argue that Abstract Daddy is a lot of projection on James' part, related maybe to when he smothered Mary in the bed. But, I just wanted to bring that up as a little neat thing. Because whatever happens to the store is going to happen, and we're ready. But, we'll say that speech or verbal assault that Mary did, and then the crying at the end is a lot to take in. I mean, people being sick and not being able to do anything about it is rough. You have a lot of emotions. You obviously don't want to die, but the sickness makes it hard to live. You're kind of frustrated at the world, and it can cause you to just lash out to the people that you love. And there's nothing wrong with Mary doing that, because it sucks dying. But obviously that also affects the people around her too, like James. And he's very much affected by her sickness in that fashion. And it's kind of not that far off to think that maybe he started to resent Mary in a certain way. And I guess the question really is, why did he kill her? I really was just holding forward, but I got a little finagled on these stairs. Well, we're not going back that way. Here she is.
Mary?
When will you ever stop making that mistake? Mary's dead. You killed her.
Maria? It's you. But I don't need you anymore.
What? You must be joking. But I can be yours. I'll be here for you forever. And I'll never yell at you or make you feel bad. That's what you wanted. I'm different than Mary. How can you throw me away?
I understand now. It's time to end this nightmare.
No! I won't let you. You deserve to die too, James.
Okay, well, she's floating around. I kind of forgot to mention, too, I think after we beat Pyramid Head, we completely lost the envelope of the letter that Mary wrote for us. But now we actually are at the final boss, so let's start blasting. Honestly, I don't know why I even bothered putting the shotgun on. This is the final boss. We're gonna go a little nuts here. We're gonna equip the hunting rifle that we barely used. We were saving it for this moment. If you can imagine, this boss would have been heck to fight with a melee weapon. So it's for the best that we just kind of save those bullets. Also, I don't usually much that this boss can do. For the most part, it just runs towards you and tries to choke you out. I don't have a map of this area. I think the reason that keeps happening is I'm pretty sure you can break free. Wow, that hurt a lot. I'm pretty sure you can break free from grapples. Well, I guess we might as well use that. But clearly, I'm not pressing the right buttons to do that. I know my mistake there was to try to reload. I was gonna say, I think she can make like bats appear. I think they're moths or the butterflies. That one. But she really doesn't have that many moves here. And she's floating close enough to the ground that we can technically fight her with melee attacks, but as you can imagine with the grapple, it's not the most ideal situation. What do I have a equip on this right now? Just want to double check. Although I do think it would be kind of neat to have the boss just kill itself like the one at the end of Silent Hill 1. I want to make sure I don't get grappled again, because that actually hurt a lot. Oh, damn. I thought I had one more bullet left. Pretty simple fight. I mean, you know what we gotta do. I'm sure everyone's done it. I kinda wanted to see if I could just kick her.
James.
Alright, I'm gonna shut up for a bit now. Let the scene play out.
Mary?
James.
Forgive me.
I told you that I wanted to die, James. I wanted the pain to end.
That's why I did it, honey. I just couldn't watch you suffer. No. That's not true. You also said you didn't want to die. The truth is, I hated you. I wanted you out of the way. I wanted my life back.
James, if that were true, then why do you look so sad?
Mary?
James, please. Please do something for me. Go on with your life.
In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill. You promised you'd take me there again someday, but you never did. Well, I'm alone there now, in our special place, waiting for you. Waiting for you to come to see me. But you never do. And so I wait, wrapped in my cocoon of pain and loneliness. I know I've done a terrible thing to you. Something you'll never forgive me for. I wish I could change that. But I can't. I feel so pathetic and ugly laying here, waiting for you. Every day I stare up at the cracks in the ceiling, and all I can think about is how unfair it all is. The doctor came today. He told me I could go home for a short stay. It's not that I'm getting better. It's just that this may be my last chance. I think you know what I mean. Even so, I'm glad to be coming home. I've missed you terribly. But I'm afraid, James. I'm afraid you don't really want me to come home. Whenever you come see me, I can tell how hard it is on you. I don't know if you hate me or pity me, or maybe I just disgust you. I'm sorry about that. When I first learned that I was going to die, I just didn't want to accept it. I was so angry all the time, and I struck out at everyone I loved most. Especially you, James. That's why I understand if you do hate me. But I want you to know this, James. I'll always love you. Even though our life together had to end like this, I still wouldn't trade it for the world. We had some wonderful years together. Well, this letter has gone on too long, so I'll say goodbye. I told the nurse to give this to you after I'm gone. That means that as you read this, I'm already dead. I can't tell you to remember me, but I can't bear for you to forget me. These last few years since I became ill, I am so sorry for what I did to you, did to us. You've given me so much, and I haven't been able to return a single thing. That's why I want you to live for yourself now. Do what's best for you, James. James, you made me happy.
So this is kind of why I think it's silly to complain about how the voice acting was bad, because I think that was a very strong reading of that letter, and still gets me emotional to this day. The way she just breaks down, and the end where she says, "You made me happy." It's strong. Look at Laura just waddling off. She has a gremlin walk. I'm trying to add levity to this situation. Like I said, I'm in an emotional state. Mary's letter hits me right in the gut. So this is the called the leave ending. As you can see, we just kind of wander right back out of there. We're done with that Silent Hill nonsense. We can assume that maybe James adopted Laura like how Mary said she wanted to. We officially beat Silent Hill 2. So like I said, we got the leave ending. I cheated a little bit. There were a couple of instances where I did something that would have maybe led to a different ending. I don't really know exactly how extreme the point system works for getting some endings is, but just in case, what I basically did was I went, interacted with things that would have maybe led to that different ending for content because they were interesting, and then reloaded a save and tried to just splice that in and act like I had still seen the thing. Like I said, I didn't really know how severe those triggers were. Like if using all of those triggers would have guaranteed the other ending or not. But just to play it safe, I cheated a smidge bit. I mean, I think if you have played the game before, you could also have figured that I did a lot of things to try to lead to leave specifically. But yeah. So I kind of talked about how I just feel like the suffering of the people involved with someone who is sick, obviously, more importantly, the person who is sick having to go through that and having to kind of have those mixed feelings of wanting to just end it because the sickness is painful, but also desperately wanting to be alive still and not being able to because there's nothing that can be done. It sucks, but that lashing out does affect the people around you. And the reason I like the leave ending, I guess, is that I don't really fully blame James for what he did. The thing is, with that last conversation with Mary on her sickbed, you could argue that maybe that's James self-rationalizing, or you could say that that is actually a projection of Mary. I like to think that it is a projection of Mary because of everything else that goes down, and the fact that he got a letter that he shouldn't have had before with the one that she read at the end, saying, "In my restless dreams I see that town," that was supposed to be given to James after she died, and it seems like with the time frame that he probably killed Mary and then immediately started to get this Silent Hill fog thing going on that forced him to go there. But with that last conversation, I feel like it really cements the idea that he loved her a lot, and more than likely he did kill her to end her suffering. But the fact that he had any amount of doubt about that, because he did somewhat start to resent her because of the way she lashed out at him, probably led him to feel very guilty about it. I mean, generally speaking, just killing someone probably makes you feel guilty about it. Maybe not Eddie so much, but James probably. So, he starts to self-doubt and question himself. And I think that's where, Silent Hill is able to take hold and try to manipulate him. People like to joke kind of about how Silent Hill 2 is like a extreme therapist session, or I guess Silent Hill in general, because this is where that therapy idea comes from. But well, the thing with that I want to bring up too is there was a Reddit post I saw recently where someone said, like, controversial opinion, but I don't think Angela deserves to be in Silent Hill. And, like, yeah, Angela doesn't deserve to be there. I don't even think James does. I just mentioned how I think James probably didn't do it selfishly. Eddie definitely deserves to be there, but I don't think Silent Hill is trying to help these people get through their mental issues. Oh, these are enhanced edition credits. Okay, good. They deserve to be credited, so that's good. I was confused by this for a minute. But, Angela was, like, sexually abused and ended up killing her father because of it. She has all right, well, not all rights, I guess, you know, law becomes really iffy there, but it's perfectly understandable that she did that, and it's not her fault that she was pushed to that brink, but she was able to be manipulated by Silent Hill. I guess what I would assume is that Silent Hill feeds on them in some fashion, feeds on those messed up, like, parts of their psyche. So I don't think Silent Hill's trying to help these people at all. But yeah, Angela left. She bailed. We never saw what happened to her. I don't want to put any thoughts in people's heads, but I'm kind of surprised they never, like, tried to make a spin-off of Angela, since we never really saw her outcome. One thing I didn't mention too, because I probably should have saved that bit about Abstract Daddy for this moment, but, you know, I have so many thoughts in my head. One thing I didn't mention is that, early on in the apartments, when we walk into that room after seeing Pyramid Head standing there for the first time, you see a body sitting in front of a static TV. It's very much mirrors James sitting in front of the TV, and if you look at the model of the body, it is James. Oh. Oh no. The special edition credits stopped working. Shoot, I might have to beat that boss again. Oh, I was just able to skip the credits, I guess. Well, sorry, special edition credits. Boy, I did not do very good. I think yellow means you've done a good job with that stat, so the only thing I did was defeat a lot of enemies by fighting, which obviously I didn't shoot a lot of them. I guess the kick finisher counts as fighting, because I definitely shot more than 4 enemies. I know I shot at least 4 Abstract Daddies if the bosses don't count. But I kicked all of them, so maybe it's just the bosses? Because I shot a bunch of the flesh lips. That was like 3 of them, and then I meleeed the Maria boss, which in hindsight I believe one of those red squares is Maria, since she isn't real and also, you know, a final boss there. I already forgot what I listed off for those 9 squares, but I mean, you could probably Google it. And it's weird to me that it shows 4 endings, because I believe there's only 3 you can get on the base playthrough, and then a couple of extras. Especially because the extras are more than 4, so whatever. But yeah, there's the leave ending. I didn't run as far as I could have, or walked as far as I could have. And I didn't collect as many items as I thought. Only got 5 stars out of however many stars actually exist. But that's it. We did it. So now we will. Well, I could show off. We beat the game. We can get a new game now. And on new game we can get a cool new item, but so I guess I'll show that real quick. There's actually 2 new items we can get. So for the first cool item, we have to take the long path back to Silent Hill past Angela. But we'll see over here, there's a weird smoke cloud. Someone left us a handy-dandy chainsaw. So now we're basically invincible. It's gas powered, but it's extremely high attack power. I don't think this actually has like an ammo type or anything. It's like we don't need to have gas, we can just use it. Ooh, do a little poke. Do a lot of swinging. As you can see, very slow, but James looks like a badass. It also has to get the big charge up going. But it's you know, it's extremely powerful, so that's cool. We're basically invincible. And I believe the other item is in the motorhome. If it's not, then I guess we're just gonna cut straight to me talking about other endings. So I had to Google it because I didn't actually remember what there's an item that would be called hyper spray, I think, that basically it would appear here, but it depends on, it'll only appear if you've beaten the game on hard mode, or beaten the game on normal twice, or just beaten the game 3 times on any difficulty, which is, you know, kind of a weird setup. But it basically stuns enemies. However, what I read about it, because I didn't really play New Game Plus a lot with this, so I didn't really ever like get it or know that much. It has different effects depending on what the ranking of your last cleared game was. So it's, you know, if you have bad star ranking, you get a worse version of it. And then like if you get I guess the max is 10 stars, you get the green spray, which just insta kills everything, including bosses, well, barring the ones that don't die like Pyramid Head, but it gets rid of them. Also, it turns out I was wrong about this. No, it was always here. But let's go talk about endings now. Woohoo!
Mary?
Wrong again. Mary's dead. You killed her.
Maria? Maria, I'm done with you.
What do you mean? But I can be yours. I'll be here for you forever. And I'll never yell at you or make you feel bad. That's what you wanted.
Now I understand. The problem is, you're not Mary.
No, James. I won't let you. I'll never let you have your Mary back.
Mary?
James.
Forgive me.
I told you that I wanted to die, James. I wanted the pain to end.
That's why I did it, honey. I just couldn't watch you suffer. No. That's not the whole truth. You also said that you didn't want to die. The truth is, part of me hated you for taking away my life.
You killed me, and you're suffering for it. It's enough, James.
Mary?
James.
Now I understand the real reason I came to this town. I wonder, what was I afraid of? Without you, Mary, I've got nothing. Now we can be together.
In my restless dreams, I see that town.
So that was the in water ending. Basically, if you aren't going to get the leave ending, you are most likely going to get that one instead. What you have to do with that is basically let yourself take damage and leave your damage low for a while, or for most of the game. Basically, I was trying to avoid that by topping off my health in most instances where I took a hit. Well, actually, I would say all instances where I took a hit, to avoid that happening. Additionally, the note on top of the hospital about the person that more than likely killed themselves will add to whatever point system gets you that ending. The newer note in Neely's bar, the one where it says that you should just kill yourself if you want to see Mary again, to James, and then says that he's probably going to hell though, will add points to that. Angela's knife is a big component to that as well. If you keep looking at that, you will add points to your basically your suicide meter, if you want to call it that. I know no one did, it was just me. I'm the one that called it that. I believe additionally Angela's knife will have different flavor text the further along you are to getting the in water ending. I don't remember who said these things. I know someone involved in Silent Hill 2 did say, as a little tidbit fun fact, that James actually, when he drove to Silent Hill, had Mary's corpse in the back of the car. There's not really anything overtly to indicate that besides the fact that in the ending, James takes Mary's body and then gets in the car and drives into the water, which is the suicide part. And I could see that based on where the timeline is. We had like a week apart of Laura's birthday and Mary coming home for, I guess, staying at home, being whatever that there is a term for that, but I cannot think of it right now. What you will most people, I think, believe or consider In Water to be the most canon of the endings. And there really isn't a canon ending. People could argue things based on little Easter eggs in Silent Hill 4 The Room, but I think it's pretty like vague things that don't really canonize, and I think most of the times the endings don't really require a type of like canonizing. So I would say it doesn't matter. Choose the one that you like the most. I already said I like leave ending. In Water kind of seems like it's more so just there for if you feel like James is guilty and is accepting that guilt. But like I said, I don't think he deserves it. I I didn't mention it before, but I did leave in the talk with Mary because obviously there was a bit different there. And it looked like Maria also vaguely says some different things in that conversation. It's not like a lot, and compared to the one for leave, it's not that much more different. But it's a fine enough ending. I like I said, I think James deserves to be happy. And I also would argue against In the Water, being that James is going kind of against Mary's will in that one. Because no matter what, the letter remains the same. And Mary says that I want you to live for you, James. Which would obviously imply then that maybe don't kill yourself to be with your wife again in death. We obviously don't know really what happens with Laura in that regards, but I don't think it really matters that much. So, yeah, additionally, I guess I should mention, it doesn't really matter for this ending, but the last hallway where we hear Mary, yelling at James, and she says to wait, to come back, and wants to, like, talk still, and is just very upset. If you, go out of that hallway without completing the, basically the whole conversation line, that'll lead to a different ending, but I believe In Water wants you to also hear the whole conversation. And it's important to note, I guess, too, that in the Leave ending, Mary kind of forgives James, or at least mentions that if he killed her for selfish reasons, then why would he be so sad about her, like, death? Where in the In Water ending, that conversation is more so just about how you're still suffering after you killed me. She doesn't really bring up that aspect. So, you know, that's something else to take in. But we'll move on to the third ending you can get, which is kind of a hard one to actually get in a base playthrough.
James, I've been waiting.
Mary. I'm sorry it took so long.
Didn't you want to see me?
Yes, I wanted to see you. Even an illusion of you. That's why I came here.
It's not true, is it? You killed me.
I couldn't watch you suffer.
Don't make excuses, James. I know I was a burden on you. You must have hated me. That's why you got rid of me.
It's true. I may have had some of those feelings. It was a long 3 years. I was tired.
That's why you needed this Maria person? James, do you really think I could ever forgive you for what you did? You killed Mary again?
That wasn't Mary. Mary's gone. That was just something Maria? Maria,
What, James?
I want you. I want you with me.
Are you sure?
Come on. Let's get out of here.
What about Mary?
It's okay. I have you.
In my restless dreams, I see that town.
You'd better do something about that cough.
So that was the Maria ending, which is a kind of a more of a pain to get. You have to basically try your best to take care of Maria, which is basically it's like protect Maria from certain like monsters, don't bump into her, stay with her for a long period of time. And when she feels sick at the hospital and she like stays in a bed for a bit, you need to check up on her a couple times, I think, or at least once. But the setup for getting it is a lot more like you have to really work for it. Now, I did read recently that I didn't know. If you get after your first playthrough, when you play through a second time, the game kind of gives you extra points towards one of the endings that you haven't gotten yet. So you kind of get like, I guess, points towards the in-water ending maybe after your leave ending. And then once you get that done, you can get some extra points towards Maria, which probably would make things a bit easier in terms of getting that ending that you would want or need. Because it would be a, you know, obviously you want to get all the endings, which is kind of neat. The Maria ending's a bit of a weird one. It basically goes through the 3 cycles of, did James do it for selfish reasons? Did he do it for like selfless reasons but regrets it like considerably, or did he like fully feel like it was like selfishly done, I guess? The Maria one basically does imply that he doesn't care about Mary and that he basically just wanted to move on. Which is almost strange too, because it's like, oh, it's maybe smart to move on, but obviously not when you know, kill your dying wife just to get rid of her. Then you have the bit where they leave and she coughs.
Who could have?
And kind of implying that it's gonna cycle again. Basically, I think the implication there is just, you know, with Silent Hill, how Silent Hill had Maria die constantly. It's like he's not out of Silent Hill at all. He's still kind of suffering through it. It's basically him like being consumed by his own demons the way Eddie was, I would say. Which in turn basically made it so that he is kind of trapped in that cycle of what Silent Hill is doing to punish him. That's how I see it anyways. Like I said, it's kind of a weird one. Again, most people don't get that ending because it's such a difficult thing to get on accident. That's the thing with the In Water and Leave ending, is that they at least kind of come naturally through gameplay. But I don't think a lot of people are just gonna chill with Maria for a bit. I think for the most part, unless if you're playing on a harder difficulty, you might not even know that Maria actually takes damage from enemies or can die. Like I said, the chase with Pyramid Head at the end is probably where you might run into that issue. James can also attack Maria. I think that could probably kill her quicker than a monster would, and that kind of goes against the Maria ending. But yeah, those are the three basic endings. We are gonna, I guess, look at the ending next that was included in the director's cut, which I believe was the version of the game that came out on Xbox and PC, and then was available in on PlayStation through the Greatest Hits release of the game. I could be wrong about that, but I believe that's how that works. The two secret endings that we're gonna look at are basically you have to collect items that are around the map on New Game Plus. I don't really remember where they are. So yeah, so the I think there's like a note that mentions for the director's cut one that there's like a ritual that needs these items and you can collect these items. So that's what we're going to look at next.
James.
Maria, I'm finished with you.
What? But I'm what you wanted. Mary's dead. Don't you understand? She's not coming back. But I can be yours. I'll be here for you forever. I'll never hurt you like she did. So why don't you want me?
Because you're not Mary. Without Mary, I just can't go on.
Oh, James. Come on, James. You must be joking.
Mary, you look so peaceful. Forgive me for waking you. But without you, I just can't go on. I can't live without you, Mary. This town, Silent Hill, the old gods haven't left this place. And they still grant power to those who venerate them. Power to defy even death. Ah, Mary.
So that's probably the most, like, actual ending you can get from a New Game Plus one. Because the other one's, like, just goofy. But that's, you know, that still kind of falls in line with Silent Hill in general. Basically, it's also kind of brings up some of the more cultic aspects of Silent Hill, which is pretty neat since that's kind of dropped in this game. But, there's not really much to say. Like I said, I think the book itself mentions that it's like a reincarnation ritual. It's clearly, set up that he's, you know, rowing to a spot to do the ritual. And, yeah, it's not like it's, again, canon doesn't really matter, and obviously with the idea that, I really needed to compile my thoughts better. It goes more into the idea that James loves Mary a bit too much now because he can't move on and wants to bring her back all Pet Sematary style. But yeah, not much to really say about that. The next ending is just going to be a bit of a joke one. But it's neat because it's a bit of a continuation from the other joke endings. It basically, it's going to be the alien ending. So it's a follow-up to that one. Same thing, I think, you have to just find where UFOs are. Very similar to how it was done in Silent Hill 1. But it's just a quick goof one. Quick addendum because I did try to look up something just to see and fell into a bit of a trap there. It turns out the UFO ending is the one that was actually included in the director's cut. I really, for a long time, thought Rebirth was the one that did that. The reason I never really got any of these secret endings is because they all require you to get all 3 of the endings, like the base game endings, before the actual items unlock. The UFO one specifically requires you to do something else before you're allowed to get to that ending. But yeah, like we won't worry about that. It's a cute little continuation. I like seeing Harry Mason there, and I like that he was like low detailed like he was in you know, on PlayStation 1. We came back over here because this is actually where this is going to be now. There's a note with a cutout magazine article attached to it. There's a title written in the front side. Searching for another conclusion. How to be a happy couple. Do you really love her, in sickness and in health? If you truly love her, then you must act. It all depends on how hard you fight for her. Whatever happens, don't give up. Always try just one more time. Even though there may be hard times, never turn to another woman. And if it comes to it, you must be willing to protect her with your very life. After all, true love means a willingness to sacrifice. Be true to your heart, and with luck, things will work out in the end. So that shows up in New Game Plus, and what that is supposed to be is a hint on how to get the Maria ending. You could also get a hint for all the other endings. But basically, I mean, It's not a very good hint, I feel like, because it's mixed messages. You don't know who the right woman is there. But it's the hint there is supposed to be to get Maria ending. You're supposed to just try to, care about Maria more than you would about Mary. I just wanted to bring that up because we're basically done with the endings now, and I'm done with this, like, quick run of the apartment that I was doing. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the UFO ending one more time, just real quick. I liked that they kind of, poked fun at the fact that both James and Harry were looking for people with the whole, like, have you seen a little girl? And it's like, what are you talking about? But by the way, have you seen my wife? It's pretty good. I think it's funny. I like it. And I like that it is a continuation of Harry getting kidnapped. But yeah, so we're basically done. We'll just have an option to just quit back to menu. Not from here, from a fake menu we do. Get back to the main menu. So that's Silent Hill 2. I love it a lot. We are done with the main scenario, but if we do a new game, we have the sub-scenario Born from a Wish. So we're not really done with Silent Hill 2 quite yet. We'll get into that next time. But thanks for watching James's story in Letter from Silent Heaven.